the reason why we aspire to be these kind of people is because society has decided that for success or in your life, you should aim towards reaching this level of wealth and this level of achievement in whatever work that you're doing. So all of us are trying to reach these people or reach these higher standards that society has set for us. But you're right about us forgetting ourselves and understanding ourselves in the process, and that's what we were talking about earlier, about trusting your gut and trusting your own intuition. There are times that now I feel like I'm like, what about it excites me? Okay, fine, I should have started a business. Like, people told me to start a business, fine. But like, what about it is exciting? Why am I still doing it? Like, those are questions I'm still answering and wondering, because that's what will keep you going more than anything. Of course, like you'll if you're earning a certain amount of money and if you're working in a particular job or whatever that society tells you is supposed to be good, at the end of it, you will survive through it. Longevity will be there only with if you are enjoying it, no? And if it is like kind of in alignment with who you are as a person. Hi and welcome to the Hotspot and Wi-Fi podcast. I'm Nivi.
Hello, Nivi.
And that's Sandeep.
Yeah.
And we're so excited to have you here for another episode. If you have been enjoying our episode so far, we'd love for you to like the podcast or the episode on YouTube. That really helps us reach more people like you.
Even if it's not someone like you, it just reaches more people. So that's
we don't. The algorithm is designed like that.
No, we don't want to reach 50 replicas of you, because then there's no point, right? And it leads to an interesting point. We all are given certain standards to aspire to, right? Certain role models we have to kind of base or model our life around. Like from school, like we're taught about role models who are like Gandhi or Nehru, or fast forward to today, it's like Steve Jobs or Bill Gates. Elon Musk. And, I mean, for various reasons, right? For whether it's their morals, whether it's their ethic, whether it's the hard work, whether it's the money, the success, right? Absolutely fine. Okay, let's establish that. Cool. It's good to have something to aspire to. But what happens in the process is you're not told to kind of look at your own story. See, because there are 8 billion people on this planet, maybe more, maybe less, right? I think the way it's going right now, it's dropping quite rapidly every day.
Yeah.
But when you have everyone trying to be a certain version, or at least trying to do the same thing and have the same result as these people for whatever reason, don't you feel like it denies you your story? Because this is the analogy, right? It's like going to a library with 50,000 books, but all the books are the same. Versus this time and this opportunity of this planet being, or whatever, maybe not this time or this planet, but it's a chance to have 8 billion different stories, unique stories, stories that capture different aspects of humanity, of this planet, of this time, of this life. And I'm not saying it has to be so unique.
Yeah.
Obviously, there are common things like food and clothing and shelter and work, and we do have more common things which are like, you can't have everyone working a different job. You have thousands of people working for some multinational corporation. But I'm saying on a basic foundational level, if we're allowed to kind of explore our own story and say, this is what I want to do with it, this is where it went in a different direction. Because when you look back at your life, many of the things that didn't make sense were like, it didn't go the way you wanted it to go, but it went the way it did anyway. And that's why you are here.
Yeah.
Which is amazing, right? But at that point, you'd be like, no, it's my God, the uncertainty is killing me. It's not, the plans I put into place never came through, never came to fruition. And the life I saw for myself never happened. But it didn't happen because it wasn't meant to be. Isn't that amazing?
It's amazing, but I feel like...
it's always a but when you answer me, right? It's never like,
because you're going on. I get it, but I feel like the reason why we aspire to be these kind of people is because society has decided that for success or in your life, you should aim towards reaching this level of wealth and this level of achievement in whatever work that you're doing. So all of us are trying to reach these people or reach these higher standards that society has set for us. But you're right about us forgetting ourselves and understanding ourselves in the process. And that's what we were talking about earlier, about trusting your gut and trusting your own intuition. There are times that now I feel like I'm like, what about it excites me? Okay, fine, I should have started a business. Like, people told me to start a business. Fine. But like, what about it is exciting? Why am I still doing it? Like, those are questions I'm still answering and wondering, because that's what will keep you going more than anything. Of course, like you'll if you're earning a certain amount of money and if you're working in a particular job or whatever that society tells you is supposed to be good, at the end of it, you will survive through it. Longevity will be there only with if you are enjoying it, no, and if it is like kind of in alignment with who you are as a person.
I think the kind of disconnect happens when it's the certain aspect of that person, right? Like, oh, Elon Musk is the richest man, and you just take that one thing in the singularity of that.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense because there's so many stories to that which led to that. And here's the thing: if everyone becomes an inventor and creates the next electric vehicle or the next satellite-based sort of internet system, then who's going to use it, right? If everyone's doing Starlink. Like I had this thing back in the day saying, if everyone becomes God, who's going to pray, right? Or if everyone becomes a CEO, who's going to do the work?
Yeah.
So it's not so straightforward to kind of just say become the next richest person, right? Because then you're just saying I have to copy the roadmap that he or she did. But the roadmap for each of us is so different.
Can be so different.
No, it is so different. It's just that we are trying to ignore that and trying to make it. Instead of taking all these different routes, we want to make a straight highway to success, which doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Because when you build a highway, you have to cut down a lot of stuff, which sometimes you need.
You'll either be unsuccessful or you'll be unhappy.
Both. Because you'll be unhappy that you're unsuccessful, and you'll be unsuccessful because you're unhappy, and because there'll be a wider disconnect because you'll have dejection that everything you're doing. Imagine if I try to live your life. There'll constantly be frustration. But I can never be Nivi. Why should I be Nivi, right?
Yeah.
For whatever reason, good or bad. Why should I be you?
Yeah.
And that's what we've encouraged to be like them.
Yeah, I feel like, the parents are the ones that feel like they should be like the previous generation, at least, felt like the children should be like them or like do things like them.
I mean, you just look at some simple example, that guy from Google, right? Sundar Pichai. Like, he's now sold as a success story to a lot of kids from Madras who went to IIT, went to that typical. So they will make sure their kids go down that path.
Yeah.
IIT, IIM, all these schools or whatever it may be, right? Like Berkeley, Harvard or whatever. Okay, now if you take it for the fact that it may be a good institution that might give you an opportunity to figure out what you want, as opposed to taking you to Sundar Pichai's position.
Yeah.
That's a world of difference, right?
I was thinking about this the other day, about like tailoring things to a child's personality. But it also will keep changing. So say, for example, with Shasa, like we're trying to figure out what kind of education to give her, right? Like whether it is the structured ICSE syllabus where, all of that structure is in place, or it's the other extreme, which is play-based, but there's no real middle ground. Then I was thinking, why are we thinking about schools really? Maybe it's the kind of person that she is, and we should give her the opportunities based on the kind of person that she is. But how do we know what kind of person she is?
She doesn't know what person she is.
Yeah, so won't she keep changing? So the parents have so much control and power over what happens to her.
I mean, when you said when you just said why schools, I was like, what, you looking for a job already? This gentleman called Sir Ken Robinson, very, very sort of well-spoken, really good orator. He was in the education space. He was an educator, and very honestly said, no one wants to call educators to parties, right? Because they bore the fuck out of the guests. But he had this lovely line which stuck with me, which was, schools educate the creativity out of children.
Yeah.
Because they want to make all the kids similar. All the kids can count, which looks great for the school, right? Like my average first grade section, all of them can count and do alphabets till this, whatever, right? Is that even a measure?
That's what.
Because if you have a child who's great at using their hands, but they don't really have reading skills at that particular age, why wouldn't you encourage that? Because the reading might come later. But it's called standardization, right, of the education. It's so, and that's why when
what
you
they
read,
say is that they give you a base, is what they
bullshit.
say.
It's not even a base. It's such a weak foundation. Who's that base for?
Yeah.
Because if you
To get
now,
that job at working at Tesla.
exactly, which automatically will lead you to this way of thinking that AI is going to replace us, which is ridiculous. Because if you are able to kind of just say, these are my strengths, these are my weaknesses, I'm listening to what I can do, what I can't do, why I'm doing what I want to do, and the reasons behind it, which is in many ways enjoying the process of it, then AI can just be your
tool.
Your tool, just like money. It's your tool.
Yeah.
And it's the tools you need in life, right? Whether it's music, or it's music to kind of ground you, the discipline, or a sport to give you a sense of fair competition or camaraderie or whatever, or it's exercise to give you the tools to exercise your body and your mind. Yeah. So all these things are tools, but we are told to look at them in such finite means to an end. But it's not. These are tools to get through life. Just like how writing is a tool of expression, speaking, communication is a tool of expression. But we're automatically told the moment we pick up a skill, it'll get you this career.
Yeah.
Why? Not why, I know why. It's because we're stupid.
No, but I feel like also the other thing with that is that these structures or these systems or these standardizations that have been set in place, also not just forget about education, that's a different story altogether, but like they give you the opportunities or the ability to try out different things and to experience different things. So what about that? Like, like say for example, a team sport. When you're in a big school, like in a structured school, there are team inter-school activities, forget sports, like even other like dance and music and those kind of things. So it's become almost as if it's a give and take. Like, do you give up creativity with a structured education system and choose to have this team building, that those kind of experiences and the grounding and exposure to people and all of that is a plus, versus like not have the either or the other? Like it's become like that.
I suppose so, because the thing I hear, the most ridiculous thing I hear from people is that, when you talk of someone who's not a mainstream student, quote unquote mainstream student, right, who's academically really good, topping their class in math and science and whatever, but they're different. Means they might be really good at painting, or they might be really good at drama, or they may be really good in music, or whatever it may be, right? I mean, I'm just, again, they're not obviously the most non-mainstream now, because that's also being encouraged. It's great. But I'm saying they may not be conventionally a good student. And when they are good at a certain skill or a certain kind of way of expressing themselves, the age-old comment is, yeah, that's all very good, but how will they get, what will they do with that? What job will they get? Like, why is that the defining sort of end to everything you do in your formative years? Because I was talking to you about this while coming here. The things we do and the things we're exposed to, the people, whether it's the positive impact they have or the negative impact they have on us as kids, and the things that happen to us as kids are so profound and powerful that the good things give us a foundation, but the good things or the positive things we want to say, whether it's a sense of right and wrong, or whether it's a sense of caring for humanity, or it's a sense of being kind, or speaking.
All kinds of things.
I mean, I'm just saying some of the positives. These things, they go throughout life with you.
Yeah.
And it's your default setting is so strong. But contrary to that, if you are treated badly as a child, or you have characters who kind of you model your life around, who don't treat people well, or who are aggressive, or maybe not aggressive alone, but they have these traits, that again is with you for life. And many times,
then you'll be spending your older years trying to recover from that.
Yeah, you have symptoms which manifest, right? And then you'll be treating those, you'll be manifesting those symptoms, and people say, whether it's drug abuse, alcohol abuse, whether it's being in an abusive relationship, and then for the rest of your life, you're just trying to undo that. So if these are such powerful times for children, they're not powerful alone, but so
they say till 7.
whatever it may be. I
something
don't know
like
the
that.
exact age, but if it's, I'm saying for my example, things that happened to me, well, these early years, maybe I don't remember what happened when I was 2 or 3, but some of the things are so, and some of the people are so. I'm 42 now, but when I think back of those memories with those people at that time, it's so amazing. And maybe the rational part of me is like, yeah, we've grown apart, whatever. But similarly, the things like, again, I talk about my eyes, my eye condition, which sort of I got diagnosed when I was 8. It went unaddressed, at least the way I dealt with it, for many years. And I'm still kind of, if someone says something at the age of 42, the rational part of me is like, yeah, it's okay, dude. Maybe they're insecure. Maybe they didn't mean it in that way.
Yeah.
But the immediate kind of sensation is that kid feeling hurt. I'm saying that's how profound it is, So if that's the case, why are we not letting kids, allowing kids to kind of find their own footing, their own foundation, make that strong, as opposed to training them for a job which they'll be dissatisfied with?
It's so hard to do that, because I feel like when we are in it, like we are in it right now, and if they do something, you react like how your parents have reacted to you, until you are aware of it and catch yourself from it. Sometimes I've heard like some reactions and I'm like, hey, why am I even saying that? Or not just your parents, but like, say, your cousins or anybody else that's reacting a certain way, you react like that. So it's even, forget when you were growing up, like even the impact that other people have in how you raise your kids, if you're not consciously aware and making certain decisions on how you want to bring up your child, subconsciously somewhere you're reacting to that child in a way that may not necessarily be how you want to react,
But in addition, I totally agree with you, because I think you might have certain intentions laid out, right? You and your partner, whoever.
Yeah.
And this takes it to beyond just raising a child. Even like, say, for instance, you as an individual want to not worry about just a job or the money, but you want to enjoy the process. You want to slow down, or you might want to decide what you want to let go in life and what you want to take on. It's a conscious choice. You might want to spend time with how you reflect on what is important to you. See, these things are not mainstream.
Yeah.
So you're constantly under pressure from the outside, right? Because when people might see your lifestyle, they're like, why are you doing that? How are you going to manage your future? Don't you have to save up to look after your family? And it's just that automatically sends you again into a spiral. So you're constant, like, and that's with parenting, right? Like, someone might be like, are you crazy? Play school? I mean, whatever, like unstructured, you're not going to still be, how will they get into college? How will they get into, the mainstream program? How will they get it? And that is how, someone was called, that's meditation, right? It's not sitting on the mat alone.
Correct. It's how you react.
It's how you are in that moment when life happens, when people around you in life happen to you.
Yeah.
And
also, like, how strong are you in trusting yourself in those moments? Because like, it's so easy to get swayed. If somebody says, what's wrong with you, right? It's automatically, you'll think what's wrong with you. Like, we're designed to think like that. But then you have to like pull yourself back and be like, nothing is wrong with me.
See, we are designed to go with the grain, especially a lot more Asian cultures don't stand out. And of course, we want to be a part of the tribe, right?
Yeah.
And if the tribe turns on you and says, are you crazy? We're all putting our kids through this to get them a job. And you're the only fool who's not preparing him or her to get a job, and they won't fend for yourself because one day you will die. They put that fear in you.
Yeah.
Why?
And it's not just the larger things, it's even the small things.
Everything,
it's just it's like a constant battle.
Yeah.
Maybe it doesn't become a battle if you're really sure of yourself and what you want and who you are, which means you have to give every single thing so much thought. So that comes out of that
intuition.
Yeah.
Whether it's with parenting, there's a child involved.
Yeah.
But with looking after yourself.
Yeah.
And more importantly, looking out for yourself, and to tell this story, which I spoke about earlier, your life, and let the story in some ways happen to you, which automatically people respond to like, yeah, you sit back, you expect the universe to give you everything. I'm not saying that, dude. I'm not saying wait for your big win. Yeah. I'm saying something as simple as do the things. If it's giving you joy, if it's giving you a sense of purpose, if it's giving you fulfillment, do it, because that's a way of you writing your story or expressing your story through this life. And the tools you have, of course, are your body, your mind, the things you pick up along the way, which are the skills, which are the sports, which are the ways to communicate. There's so many things, right? Yeah. And some things you take on because others told you should, right? Like which you might let go of.
Yeah.
But if you don't take time to kind of develop this intuition, or rather listen to it, I wouldn't even say
Yeah.
develop it, but stop putting blocks to it.
Yeah.
Because it says something like, no, but everyone said 5-year
Yeah,
plan,
yeah.
career, investment, house, save up, this school, that outcome, this job. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, you in fact want to take it one step further from intuition. I'd call it energy, right? I'm more and more subscribing or believing in this power
Yeah,
of energy,
fully.
because we have this need for a construct, and we want that construct to be permanent. Now, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a relationship, whether it's family, whether it's the development of your child, we want that all to be very linear, positive in one direction, only to grow, become better, or once it's better, to stay there. That's not going to happen, because in my understanding, just like money, just like energy, money comes and goes, it flows. Just like that, your family will change. Whether you like your child's going to become a teenager, your child's going to become an adult, you are going to get older, you are going to get weaker. So all those dynamics are constantly changing. So energy, if you want to hold on to say, oh, today I'm happy, and you just doing everything to be happy, you're going to be stressed.
Yeah.
Similarly, if you make a certain amount of money and you're like, I'm going to hold on to this money or make more, it's stress.
Yeah.
And stress is nothing but that energy being blocked from flowing.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm good at this. Anyway, jokes aside, I really think that's such a way it's such an I think essential way that is helping me understand the things that are happening to me.
Yeah.
And the things that I am doing as a result, right? It's not a very sort of laid back, the universe will kind of take me where it should. Of course it will. But
I feel like when you are trusting your intuition and aligning with the universe, as they call it really feels different. When you start to feel it more and more, and if you're attuned to how what that feeling is like, it's kind of addictive. Like it's a feeling is different from usual. So I'll give you an example. Like with Ikivi, we recently are changing up the way we want to creatively communicate with people and showcase ourselves as who we are and what I intend. Are you listening,
Yeah.
or are you spacing out?
No, I'm listening.
So why I started Ikivi and what was my intention with Ikivi, and it's feeling so much stronger now, and I feel it has taken these many years because it's a lot of time has also spent taking care of myself and understanding myself more and becoming more sure of myself, becoming more confident. So it has had to take this long for us to really be powerful and be like, okay, I'm really feeling so strongly about the direction that we're headed in, because it's not like I didn't know this. Like the example is, I feel like very strongly about India and Indian culture and what kind of craft and techniques that come from here and the products that we have here. And I'm really, really proud of India. It's not like I was not proud of it when I started Ikivi at 2015, but somewhere along the way, it was not communicated enough. But now I'm like, this is our differentiator. This is who we are, and it's feeling so aligned that I'm so excited about where we're headed with it, But it's really taken me this long because I've worked on myself all these years, tried to figure out, confidence was not the strength that I had, and it's something that's evolved over the years. So things like that kind of take time also.
I mean, that's your story, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to arrive at a certain discovery. You have to, and that doesn't happen like, oh, you pick up you turn over the first stone and like, oh, cool, I discovered this adventure. No,
Yeah.
The adventure or the thing is, it's, we love storybooks for different plots and twists and them going a certain way, then pulling back and taking in a certain, the unexpected happens. But if you think your story is the most, it's the most unexpected in many ways, right? The thing happens, the problem is we decide that it's not a good story because it's not the way we wanted it to go. And why should it go the way we wanted it to go? Because the way we wanted it to go was told by others or people who came before us, saying this should be your story. Why?
Yeah. But you also need that guidance to some extent.
I don't think it's guidance is the problem. Guidance is giving you the strength to believe in yourself. The problem is guidance is in some ways become manipulation. Saying that, no, this won't work for you. We saw this. And see, even if you look at something like spiritual interpretation of like old ancient texts, right? It's one human being's interpretation of that, maybe through their knowledge. And then as a result, their wisdom gave you this book or the interpretation of a certain thing. But why go through that person when if you can actually listen to your intuition, which, if you want to call that energy, is a direct connection to the universe.
Yeah.
Like many people say, the first sannyasis and the first guys or the first people who heard the stories from the universe never put it down in paper. They couldn't write. But they had the knowledge which came straight from. It's like, why would you want to kind of put the pressure of, conforming to that way of teaching when you can actually experience it yourself, whatever it may be. And that takes time, of course. You can't learn things overnight. You have to make mistakes. You have to say, oh, I went down the wrong path. Let me come back to another path.
I think it's also like, how do you flow with it? Because like you said earlier, like there are going to be those downs. Like you can't hold on to that happiness or that thrill or whatever. So
and why should you? Because energy goes. So you will be
because it's thrilling, right? Like you want to feel that all the time.
That thrill, you'll never know the difference when you're even less thrilled or more thrilled.
Yeah.
You can't have that constant, right? Because when you're
but it's like,
hungry,
why do you drink?
You feel good when you're full.
Yeah.
When you're down and you feel a little better, you're like, I'm feeling better. But if you're always feeling happy, then you want, and that's the sickness we have in our society, right?
Yeah.
You want to get to an emotion and stick to it.
Yeah.
Or get to a certain place of success and stick to it. Like you can't.
Yeah.
It will go. It will come. It will come back again. It might go again. But we don't want that because and that's where this fear of AI and technology taking over. It's like, dude, honestly speaking, if you're in a rat race for knowledge and you want to show off who has most knowledge and that knowledge is the reward system, then no one is safe because AI is going to kick our asses. Like the technology is so good. It can read entire libraries in less time than we will even read one book. So why should we even compete with that?
But is there fear?
Of course, there's a lot of fear because the thing is, people are so comfortable with, the idea of work and a job. If that job can be done by something much more efficiently and quickly, they're like, oh my God, now I have to actually think and look at myself going, what am I actually good at? What do I actually want to do in life?
Yeah.
And people are terrified of that because it's not easy.
It's not easy, and you're not given the encouragement or the confidence to do that. Like that's
because our education system doesn't encourage that, right?
So it kind of all boils down to that education and those first few
childhood. Yeah, because if you can tell a child, or rather encourage a child, like telling is probably not the right word, encourage a child to with guidance, of course. You can't just say go sit in the hills and discover your intuition. No, it's not. No one's saying that. But if you can allow a child to kind of be and say, this an experience and encourage them and tell them, that is also that is a part of what it is to be a child and grow up, and not send them in this direction going, if you don't come back from school without your homework. Those are all petty things.
It's like as simple as the food that we serve her and then she eats and then she's done. Like she either likes it or she doesn't like it. But if she likes it, she eats it. And if she stops at a certain point. Basically, they say that they are so in tune with their body and how they're feeling that we come in and we stop that because we're stuffing their faces and like, you have to eat
because we want them to grow. We want them to get some nonsense. Yeah. No, I'm more and more glad that this is happening because it is turning everything that we know on its head.
Yeah.
The way the conventional sort of work happens, the way things are kind of perceived, the way things are determined at an early age to get a job, to kind of mark all these various parameters of success and progress, which is all nonsense.
Yeah.
And I'm thrilled that AI is going to do a lot of the work, but I hate editing documents. I hate putting together things. If it can do it for me, man, it gives me so much more time to
think.
Not just think, but to live.
Yeah.
And I don't know what I'm going to do if AI becomes, or when AI becomes so powerful that it's going to do 90% of the things that I can do today, or maybe more. But it allows me to kind of delve into who I am and what more I have to offer, right? And kind of make that connection with the universe stronger.
And it's so much more fun to do that.
Yeah.
I enjoy doing that.
The journey inside
is,
I wouldn't say it's easy or free or cheap, like any journey, like a holiday or first class business class trip, you can't compare it to that, but it is so vast and we don't know where it's going to take us.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
It's so amazing. I'm doing this.
I thought it would be a great end, but yeah.
It's okay. I'll have to finish this. I have to say it. I'm doing this course on like shadow work, and basically, which means that you kind of, it's just packaged that way, but basically means that you kind of look back and see what are things that trigger you, what make you feel embarrassed, what make you feel shameful, and just accept that that's the kind of person that you are. And there's like, everybody has those feelings, everybody has shadows, everybody grows up with it. But just by accepting it, it kind of gives you freedom to be who you are and be the kind of person that you are, instead of feeling that shame and feeling that embarrassment. And I feel like just doing this on a day-to-day basis, just like 10 minutes or 15 minutes is something, like they give you some journal questions that you basically write down and try and figure things out. But it's so fun to do it because you're like, this is something that, triggers me. And why does that even trigger me? Like, what about it? Because there's obviously more to it. And there's no need to constantly feel triggered, right? Or feel shame or embarrassment. Like, you can feel it, but what about it is making you feel that way? It's really fun to do that.
Sounds like a lot of work.
Not really, yeah. It's just like thinking
Journaling
about.
it's too much for me. I'm like,
I mean, it is too much. It is writing or whatever. But
Yeah.
like, to each his own. Like, you think about it. That's the same
exactly.
thing.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
different. That's good.
Some people think like that by writing things down.
Yeah. You know who needs to do shadow work? Peter Pan. He could do it. You know that story is Peter Pan, right?
Yeah.
He lost his shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's quite profound.
Wow.
So does that mean he was fearless and had nothing that triggered him?
Yeah.
Or was he just a guy going, dude, where's the sun? Anyhow, but I'm glad that you're doing it. I hope it works out. Let me know how you feel in the next episode.
Why do I have to wait till the next episode?
Because let them also know. We don't talk between episodes, guys. It's the only time we chat. Others, it's so boring. It's saying like, because if we talk too much, then we have nothing for the episode. Because earlier we did, and we're like, you know what? Let's talk about this in the episode. Now it's just like every other week.
Just
we're like,
hold on.
Just hold on. Yeah, what do you have to say, Nivi? No, wait, don't. If it's important, say it on the podcast. If it's something silly like, oh, you know what? Can you get that cheese? I'm like, yeah, that we can talk about. But profound shit only gets on
here.
Yeah. Basically, we made each other like our own Patreon. We have a paywall, and that's when we talk. But hey, as Nivi said it up top, we'd love for you to help us spread the word about this podcast, because as you all know, with the noise out there on the internet and with the way these things are being determined, the only way we can reach more people and sort of spread these conversations and the ideas and the things that we love talking about with more people is that if you can like the video and
not necessarily share or follow us or anything
I was
like
just
that.
going to say that. Why do you have to jump in?
Sorry.
Good
I
Lord.
thought you forgot about it.
I mean,
Okay, say it.
Go ahead.
No,
I'm
no,
not
say
saying it.
It's okay, say it.
No, I'm not going to say it.
Say it.
No. I mean, to save me this headache of this wife, please. That way, at least I can travel, meet more people, and not just keep hearing her. And yeah, so do like the video. It really helps us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for listening. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Hotspot and Wi-Fi. We're so happy to have you. What?
Podcast.
What?
You just welcome to the Hotspot wife.
Okay, start again.
No, it's fine. Just if that's how you want to do it, I'm cool.
Then why do you have to interfere?
Okay, go on. The knowledge which came straight from, it's like, why would you want to watch it through a medium?
Oops.
Are you done?
Yeah, I just sneeze. I mean, like...